Back in 1952, I went to work for John C. Wells. I worked for him 2 years for 48 cents a day. And every dinner time they'd take a dime of that 48 cents. So I get home with 38 cents. And I worked there 2 years, skipped that, then I got a job, $1.50 a day. Worked that 2 or 3 years. Jumped from that $1.50 to $2 a day. Jumped that, got $3 a day. So I stayed there about 5 years for $3 a day, raising children. And I just don't see how it was done, but God kept way open for me. And ain't no need of you worrying about how you will make it. You worry about who you making it with. God make a way for us. And the stuff that I was using at the end, God would multiply it and increase it. And I never run out of food. Children never got hungry. They never were naked. Because somewhere down the line, God kept a door open. I always could get something. And after that, my dad was farming. And he said, well, boys gonna make a good crop this year. In 1955. It was made 48 bales of cotton, 46 bales of cotton. And in that 46 years bales of cotton, he told my dad at the end of October, if you had to make one more bale, you'd have paid out of all that cotton. And he was getting $60 a bale for the seeds, $400 and some for a bale of cotton. And my daddy bought $30 in March, $30 in April, and $30 in May because it laid by in May. And all that cotton, about $30,000, didn't pay that $90. I told my dad, I said, Daddy, I'm gonna have to put you down. He said, boy, don't go nowhere. I said, I can't stay here like this. In 1958, I had a son who was born in the 11th of October in 58. I left and went to Greene County, went to work at Centrella Footlock place, making $1 an hour. And they give me 80 cents because they took 20 cents out of the dollar. Then I went to work for Miller Lumber Company, $1 an hour. I worked there 21 years for Miller Lumber Company. Then I got a job with the school bus, driving school bus. Stayed there 26 years, 5 months and 15 days. I retired when I was 60 years old. And in 1980, I went to the Federation of Southern Cooperatives. Stayed there all the way up until now. I deal with them a little bit now, but I didn't make no money. They had me assistant manager for 8 years. Didn't pay me no money, but they sent me everywhere. I went to Chicago, went to New York, went to South Carolina, Oklahoma, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, all down in New Mexico. I went to the chief house, stayed with him 7 days, the chief. And he come up here and stayed with me 3 days, him and his wife and family. And left there and went to Old Mexico. Stayed down there 7 days. And them folk was staying on the rocks. Didn't have a house to go in. They were living on the rocks. Little woman there about this tall. Just to put it, you want to look at it. Had 7 children, woman 20 years old. I said, Lord, Chief told us, boy, I said, these girls look good to y'all. I know they do, but if you fool with one, she your wife. If you got one, you got two. So you had to buckle up and not even talk to none of them. But if you were talking to them, they'll claim. 'Twas when food was. So after that, I was sitting down one day and thinking, Lord, what is all this about? He said, don't worry. I got it. I got it. And I tried to figure out what it is about life that we worry about and can't do nothing about. I thought about the sun. I was thinking about how good God been to me, what he did for me. I never had a bone broke. I never had a stitch in my life. Never stayed in the hospital for 2 days, 2 nights for kidney stone. And I could have come back dead if they give me that shot. I never had no problem with nothing much. I said, Lord, what about the Son? He said, ain't you serving the Son of God? He's the one that gets the job done. I said, well, what about the clouds? God made them. He said, when the clouds are gray, your love is home to stay. If you stay with the Lord. And if the sky is blue, your heart ought to tell you what to do. Because God is new unto you. And if the sky is red, you ought to believe what the word says. Because God got it. And if you want it, you can get it. You have not because you ask not. Proverbs says, lean not to your own understanding, but out of all your ways acknowledge God, and he'll direct your path. But sometimes we've got too much weight on us. You should pull off every weight that deceives you. Sometimes we're trying to tote other folks' business and ain't done nothing about your own. It takes you a year and a day to tend to your own business. A year and a day, that means you open the next year when that next day comes. And you still ain't got to my business yet, and I ain't got to yours. But in life, you need to learn how to love. Many people in the world today don't know how to love. You got to learn that. Learn how to tend to your own business and leave other folks' business alone. He said, don't be a busybody in another man's matter. Learn how to get on your knees when things ain't going right. You got a knee you can bow on. And you got a God that'll listen to you. Every time you get so you can't see your way, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but who? By me. So we have to learn how to understand life and learn what life is all about. It's when the sky is foggy, your love is coming across you. All you got to do is open up your heart and let the true love come in. It'll teach you how to love men, not only men and women, boys and girls. And you got to learn how to do this. When folks talk mean to you, you ought to be able to take it for love. When people scandalize your name, don't feel bad about them. They may not even know no better. See, a lot of people need an attitude adjustment. He got a bad attitude, and it needs adjustment. And can't nobody adjust it but God. You can't tell me how to live unless you know how to live. If you don't know the way, you can't tell me the way. You need to know God for yourself. And if you know him, then you will know how to conduct yourself. And in life today, good things coming us way. God's still there every day. A man asked me one day, said, how close we are to the Lord? I said, I'm just as close to God as pig is to pope. And if that ain't close enough, well, if pig ain't pope, what he is? Pig is pope. And I'm closer to him as fire is the smoke. So if ain't no smoke, ain't no fire, ain't gonna be no smoke. So we got to learn how to take a licking and keep on ticking. Because they're going to beat you. They're going to talk about you when you're right. They're going to talk about you when you're wrong. And they allow on you longer you live and they'll put you in heaven when you die. You can't put me nowhere. Because you got to get there yourself. You can't tell just because I live a certain way. Well, I know you and you don't know that. Because you ain't been there. You testify, the book said, testify that you have seen and that you do know. Suppose you see it and didn't know it. Suppose you know it and didn't see it. But the book said testify that you have seen and that you do know. So look at it. A life ought not to be like a well. See, the scripture said, some people is like a well, deep in danger, a set of loose lips. A lot of people in penitentiary today in the cemetery, because somebody said, I know they're a responsible person. But if his mouth was cut crossway, he'll lie. But if it cut straight up and down, I say he wouldn't lie. But all of them cut crossway. And you allow sometimes not intend to do it, but it'll just jump out. Satan is in there. He's the prince of the air. And he in your breathing, in your speaking, you take air to speak. And if Satan in there, he gonna throw a monkey wrench in the business. So you have to learn how to be responsible for what you do. And in farming, I've been farming practically all my life. I went all over the world teaching about it. Peas, okra, squash, cucumber, tomatoes, butter beans, string beans, sweet potatoes, peanuts, corn, all this stuff. I learned how to plant it. And I learned how when to plant it. People plant stuff now according to what he thinks.